because it's the only stabilized force in the area, the only one which can bring other countries help to deal with the problems that they are facing, either it is Iran or ISIS or other problems. And this is why in the Middle East, Israel is becoming kind of a magnet to Arab countries. Not only those with which we have formal relations, Egypt and Jordan, but also other countries. The barrier from making it in public and strengthening the relations and making it a very clear, strong process is the Palestinian issue, which, till it will be solved, those countries will hesitate to do anything in public. And at the same time, the Palestinian, as far as I can understand, the Palestinian Authority and leader is not in any intention to resume negotiations, and for sure not to make the process or the compromises which are needed in the process. So I'm very pessimistic about it, and I think that unilateral actions will be a huge mistake. And last but not least, Israel's position around the world, although we are facing many challenges relating to BDS and so on, the position of Israel around the world is totally different than the one which had been 30 years ago. Our relations with countries that in the past we could only dream about having relations with, or having such relations with, like China, India, Japan, Vietnam, and now countries in Africa, make Israel much stronger internationally, although at the end of the day, we should not have any illusion. There is no any substitute to good relations with the United States of America. And now we keep the momentum of the good relations with the United States of America, and now we try to build better relations with the next administration, whoever it will be elected. It is a huge challenge for the Israeli decision makers, and one of the main efforts for the few months ahead, because of next week's election in America, and new administration, whoever will be elected, will come into force in Washington.
The US is not performing a pivot to Asia. And I don't think it's going to happen with the next president, whoever. There is a very important pivot of Asia to the Middle East, and of the Middle East to Asia. The term West Asia that the Asians are using to describe the Middle East has become politically correct. The Asians, because of their dependence, unlike the United States, on energy resources from mainly the Persian Gulf states, are going to be present in the region. I believe, give it a decade, maybe less, you will have the Chinese and the Indian Navy in the Persian Gulf. I'm telling you for a fact that some of the Gulf states are already exploring the possibility, because they are not sure how long the Fifth Fleet is staying in Bahrain. There is a reconnection of sorts between the Middle East and Asia. And Israel, also for other reasons, economic, diplomatic, etc., has to strengthen its presence and ties in Asia.
I want to tell you a few things about Australian-Israel Beersheba dialogue. I think it's very important. And it happened, this type of meeting, not by accident, but because there are certain strategic trends in the world that, to some extent, force small states like Israel and Australia, small states that are allies of the United States, Australia or Israel, to meet together and to try to do some thinking about the future challenges. One is the retreat of American power. And I think to everybody this is quite clear that this is happening for the past 8 years at least. We see also the rise of China. You in Australia feel the rise of China probably more than we do in West Asia. And we have to think how to handle it, particularly in light of the retreat of American power. And the third trend is the spread of radical Islam. Again, in our part of the world, it's quite evident, and it was not an entirely surprise, but when we went to Bangkok and we met people from Malaya and Indonesia, they expressed a clear threat perception about the changes within their own societies. There are growing, there is growing influence of radical elements, Muslim elements in their societies, and which is spreading from the Middle East to Southeast Asia.